The story begins, and we see a very beautiful city named Heavenly Realm, and we are shown a man who is looking at something and saying, "What kind of strange fate with the heavens is this? I don't know what kind of magic the celestial mirror is playing." And then we see Yeon Chungwoon, and the man is trying to touch him, and just as he is about to touch him, a bright light appears in front of him, and he sees that Yeon Chungwoon is learning martial arts, and he is thinking, "I've never seen such sloppy Tai Chi in my life." And we see that Yeon Chungwoon is very angry, and he is saying, "Sure, whatever, it's not all sloppy though, is it?" An outer disciple of Wudang Yeon Chungwoon. And the master is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "What nonsense are you spouting all of a sudden, Yeon Chungwoon?" But he is not able to understand anything, and the master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Focus during the spar." And Yeon Chungwoon says sorry to the great master, "I definitely heard something." "What was that?" And someone is saying to him, "You can hear." But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand anything, and he is shocked, and we see that Yeon Chungwoon's opponent is not happy at all with Yeon Chungwoon's behavior, and he gets very angry, and is saying, "Yeon Chungwoon, do you want me to beat even more shit out of you?" But Yeon Chungwoon is not affected by his words, due to which Yoon Sihu gets very angry, and he is saying, "How dare you ignore me?" And he attacks Yeon Chungwoon, but Yeon Chungwoon blocks his attack, and says, "I blocked the attack this ti dash." But Yoon Sihu is laughing, because he has hit somewhere else, and says, "Whatcha doin', punk? You're open down here." But Yeon Chungwoon is not aware of this, and Yoon Sihu says, "How dare you get distracted while I'm right in front of you and ignore me? Today you're—" And Yeon Chungwoon is in a lot of pain, because Yoon Sihu has hit the middle part of his legs, and Yoon Sihu says, "Going to die at my hands." We see Wudang Sect outer disciple Yoon Sihu. Seeing their fight, a man present there says, "Yeon Chungwoon is getting the shit out of him today too." And a man standing near him says, "Given how he keeps challenging Yoon Sihu without any skills, his persistence sure is top-notch." Then hearing him, another man standing there says, No, his ability to take hits is what's top-notch." And the other man standing near him says, "You're right about that. Ha!" And then we see that Yoon Sihu punches Yeon Chungwoon hard on the cheek, and says, "I can hear you, you bastards." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "You think I'll just keep taking it like this, forever?" But now Yeon Chungwoon is getting very angry, and he attacks Yoon Sihu hard, but Yoon Sihu dodges him, and says, "I wonder how you got in here. The likes of you." But Yeon Chungwoon gets even more angry now, and says, "I came here to get stronger just like you." And again he attacks Yoon Sihu, but this time too Yoon Sihu dodges him, and he says, "What's he on about?" And Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand what is happening to him, and Yoon Sihu says to him, "Keep that goal for your next life." And we see that Yoon Sihu hits Yeon Chungwoon's head with a strong kick, due to which Yeon Chungwoon flies in the air like a football, and he becomes unconscious and two people are dragging him away, and Master says, "Watching him is so damn frustrating. He has got a decent potential, is he not making progress because he doesn't know how to train properly?" And he is telling the master and disciples, "Extend your arms further. Focus." And then we see Yeon Chungwoon, who is lying unconscious and is crying, "I always wanted to become a martial artist. They made me realize that a person made of mere flesh and bones isn't merely meant for crawling on the ground. That vague admiration I had in my childhood turned into envy, which became a driving force that led me to join the Wudang Sect as an outer disciple. But perhaps, because I wasn't talented to begin with, in the end, this is how I ended up." And then we see Yeon Chungwoon, who is lying unconscious, and the master is trying to wake him up, but Yeon Chungwoon is in no mood to get up at all, and he says, "Just 5 more minutes." But seeing this act of Yeon Chungwoon, the master gets very angry, and shouts at him, "How can you sleep after getting the shit beaten out of you?" And Yeon Chungwoon gets up but he is not able to understand anything, and then a man is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "Fuck, that scared me. Yeon Chungwoon, what are you doing? You scared me." And the master is saying, "Judging from his reaction, he can clearly hear my voice." But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand what happened to him, and he is saying, "What was that? Am I the only one who heard it? Is this telepathy?" And two men passing in front of him are saying, "What's the deal with him? Did he get beat up in his dreams too?" And the master is saying, "Telepathy, my foot! Is there anyone here with that kind of skill?" And Yeon Chungwoon says then, "Who are you?" And the master says, "Jang Sanfong," but Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand anything, and the master tells about himself and says, "The owner of nicknames like Zhang the Sloppy, Ragtag Taoist, he was an eccentric known for treating everyone equally, from the emperor to commoners without regard for their rank. As a martial artist and Taoist, he is known for further developing the Taoist philosophy and founding the Wudang Sect. He is also believed to be the one who invented Tai Chi." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Are you the Zhang Sanfong I know of?" And the master says, "Yes, that's right." But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand anything, and he thinks, "What's with that reaction?" And the master says, "Don't you find this ridiculous?" "Well, isn't it better for something ridiculous to be happening than for me to actually be crazy?" And the master is laughing, looking at him and saying, "So if you had to choose between something special and abnormal, you'd rather be someone special? Sure, you gotta be quick to catch up with things if you want to get better at martial arts." And then the master sees Yeon Chungwoon, who is doing something, and says to Yeon Chungwoon, "What are you doing?" And we see that Yeon Chungwoon is making a statue with stone and straw, and says to the master, "Ah, you mean this?" Looking up at the tall stone statue to talk makes neck hurt. So yep. All done. And he is thinking, "Look at this punk. You sure a fun guy." And Yeon Chungwoon looks at the statue and says, "Your way of talking is really cheap." As expected of the ragtag Taoist. And he is thinking, "Nana. I missed hearing that nickname." Just then a man comes to him, and he is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "Hey you! What are you doing? Come out right now. It's time to review our spars." And Yeon Chungwoon gets a little disappointed after listening to that man, and says, "Oh? Right. I'll be there soon." And that man is going from there and saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "Weird-ass guy, review sessions are intended to point out what we did right and wrong during sparring, but that guy uses the reviewing as an excuse to hit me again and again. No. I don't want to run away. I'm not a coward who runs away from a fight. I want to win. I want to get stronger. You seem to be in quite the pinch." And then we see Yeon Chungwoon, who is taking this patly and saying, "I guess so." And he thinks, "Aren't you smiling a bit too brightly for someone who's in a pinch?" And he looks at the stone carefully, and says, "Maybe I'm just a strange guy. Do you not like strange things?" And he thinks, "Of course not." And then we see the master, who is trying to see something in the mirror, and Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, "I totally love them." And he feels, "It weirdly feels like someone's shooting lasers at the top of my head," and the scene shifts, and we see the martial arts room, where Yoon Sihu hits Yeon Chungwoon hard, causing him to fall down. Seeing him, master says to Yoon Sihu, "This review session is for the last duel. Refrain from direct hits." And Yoon Sihu says to the master, "Yes, I'm sorry." And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, that's just an empty warning. Given Yoon Sihu's strong backing, even the inner disciples of the sect tread carefully around him. And seeing this, great master is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "You're supposed to perform the veiling hand elbow strike without any preparatory movements. Trying to hit hard makes your body tense, reveals your form, and you get countered." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Hey, this won't do. Want to try doing it my way?" "How?" And master comes to Yeon Chungwoon, and says to him, "Focus, Yeon Chungwoon." And Yeon Chungwoon gets nervous seeing him, and apologizes. And Yeon Chungwoon and Yoon Sihu are about to fight again, and master is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "When you got hit on the chin just now, instead of using the veiling hand elbow strike, which other basic move do you think you could use?" Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, 6 ceilings and 4 closings. And says 6 ceilings and 4 closings. But Yoon Sihu does not understand anything, and is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "You want to use 6 ceilings and 4 closings so up close? A dull head sure makes the body suffer." Then he moves fast towards Yeon Chungwoon and says, "Alright then." And the great master is telling Yeon Chungwoon that he's coming. Then Yoon Sihu hits Yeon Chungwoon with a 5, and the great master tells Yeon Chungwoon, "Press down and shift weight." Plant both feet on the ground. Maintain your balance. Once again, press down and shift, but this time Yoon Sihu is about to attack Yeon Chungwoon by jumping on him. But this time Yeon Chungwoon becomes a little cautious and blocks his attack, and seeing this great master also praises him. But Yoon Sihu is surprised that how can he block his attack, and great master tells Yeon Chungwoon, now use both palms. And Yeon Chungwoon pushes Yoon Sihu, and great master is telling, we're pushing out with both hands not just for attacking, but also to gauge the distance between you and your opponent. But Yoon Sihu is very surprised to see this style of Yeon Chungwoon, and angrily tells Yeon Chungwoon, ugh. You rascal! I can't see anything ahead. And again great master is telling Yeon Chungwoon, block all directions front, back, left, right, up, down. Yeon Chungwoon does as told by the great master, and Yoon Sihu tells Yeon Chungwoon, seriously. Have you gone crazy? And the great master tells Yeon Chungwoon, dynamic chi circulation. Don't think from the head, let it. And Yeon Chungwoon throws Yoon Sihu in front as told by the great master, and seeing this happen everyone is surprised, and are saying, 6 ceilings and 4 closings. His movement suddenly became strangely natural. But Yoon Sihu is very angry, and he is about to hit a very strong punch on Yeon Chungwoon, and the great master again tells Yeon Chungwoon, here he comes again. And Yeon Chungwoon is concentrating on listening to the great master, and Yoon Sihu attacks him saying, how dare you sneak up on me with these tricks? But Yeon Chungwoon blocks his attack with both his hands, and Yoon Sihu is very surprised to see this, and the great master is very impressed to see this, and Yeon Chungwoon is spinning Yoon Sihu hard, but Yoon Sihu is not able to understand what is happening to him, and the great master is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, that's right. This is it. And Yeon Chungwoon throws Yoon Sihu, and Yoon Sihu spins and falls into the wall, and seeing this everyone is very surprised, and are saying, what just happened? Hey Yoon Sihu, you okay? Yoon Sihu. But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to believe himself, how can he do this with his hands, and is saying, is this really the 6 ceilings and 4 closing? And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, how was that? But Yeon Chungwoon is very happy with this feat, and is saying, that was fucking awesome. And looking at the great master he says, that really like the 6 ceilings and 4 closings. But the rest of the people there are very surprised to see Yeon Chungwoon, who he is talking to, and they are saying, has he gone crazy? What's he doing all alone? Oh, don't know. He was also talking to a rock earlier. And the great master laughingly says to Yeon Chungwoon, I don't know why the heavens called this you, but Yeon Chungwoon does not understand what the great master is saying, and he is surprised, and the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, do you want to learn martial arts from me? Yeon Chungwoon becomes very happy after listening to the great master, and accepts the invitation of the great master. And the next morning we see a man cleaning the place, and we see Yeon Chungwoon, who is watching the sun rise from a hillock, and is thinking about something while looking at his martial arts school, when suddenly he hears someone's voice, you rotten bastard. And he gets scared on hearing this, and then again someone says, are your hands just for show? And when he turns around and looks, he sees a picture carved on the stone, which is of his master, i.e. the great master, and the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, to hell with your Do I, Jang Sanfeng, look like that? But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand anything, and some questions are arising in his mind, and he says to the great master, I have a question, master. And he is laughing, and the great master says to him, stop laughing while looking at that damn drawing. It pisses me off. And Yeon Chungwoon is surprised to hear great master's words, and says, if what you said is true, you are in the heavenly realm right now, right? And the great master says, yeah, so Yeon Chungwoon says, then that must be real. Paradise, I mean. They say it's such a splendid and comfortable place. The great master says to him, what are you saying? It is like shit. But Yeon Chungwoon does not understand anything, and the great master says, I said, it is like shit. And Yeon Chungwoon gets a little angry, and says, how can you say such thing as an immortal? And the great master also gets angry after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, and says, so what? What's nice about having the lowest status? In this place, Bodhidharma plows the field in the scorching sun all day. while the heavenly demon is still busy carrying buckets of shit. What's more, that bastard gets into trouble when he drinks. And thinking all this, the great master's head starts spinning, and he says he sprayed sewage water on those sons of bitches from hell and pissed them off. Yeon Chungwoon is surprised to hear the great master's words and says, "Pardon? By heavenly demon, you mean the heavenly demon?" And when he comes to know about this, he gets very scared, and great master is not able to understand anything, and he is saying while thinking, "I thought things would get better once I got used to it, but since I passed away like an idiot, I don't even have a successor yet. If only I had a successor, it wouldn't have been that bad living here. But to think it's the youngest." And thinking this he becomes very stressed, and says to Yeon Chungwoon, Master? I can't hear you." And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Still, seeing how you still have a bit of potential." But Yeon Chungwoon does not understand what great master says, and says, "Pardon? I don't know what the celestial mirror did to break through the heavenly barrier, and create this kind of mystery, but there must be a reason for this." But great master gets a little angry after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, and says, "In order to learn about causality." And Yeon Chungwoon gets very nervous after listening to this, and great master says, "I'll need to make up my mind, right?" And Yeon Chungwoon is trembling with fear, and says, "Pardon? Celestial mirror? Heavenly barrier? What are you talking about all of a sudden?" And the great master says, "It's nothing. See you tomorrow." Then the scene shifts, and we see the next morning, Wudang Sect outer court where the disciplines are learning martial arts, and Yeon Chungwoon is telling, "Like me, some disciples here are genuinely interested in martial arts. However, some wealthy families only let their children join in order to obtain the status of being an outer disciple of the Wudang. That's because even if you have good personal connections, the second and third sons of the family will always be treated as nuisances. But just as there is darkness where there is light, there are also some deviants. For example, someone like Yoon Sihu, and everyone hates me for standing up against him. That's probably why they are cold towards me." And he is thinking, Yoon Sihu, there is no way that bastard will let me be. That bastard will seek revenge soon. I must make my preparations. The scene shifts, and we see the medical hall, where Yoon Sihu is bandaged, and a man is standing near Yoon Sihu, and he looks at Yeon Chungwoon and says, "You seem pretty angry. I will take action, so calm down." And it is hall leader Shin Jae-hyun, and Yoon Sihu says, "I can't be satisfied with normal punishment." And after listening to Yoon Sihu, the hall leader says, "I know. After all, this is related to the Deokpungyun clan's eldest son. By the way, about what I asked earlier," and after listening to the hall leader, Yoon Sihu is thinking, "Damn Taoist," and says, "My father has promised to support me, so I'll get an answer within a few days." And the hall leader says, as expected of a reputed clan. And he is showing something to Yeon Chungwoon, and Yeon Chungwoon is very surprised to see it, and the hall leader says, "This is my sincerity to the Deokpungyun family's eldest son." Ho ho, and Yeon Chungwoon gets very happy seeing it, and takes it in his hands, and says, "It's a rare elixir, so swallow it all at once." And he swallows it, and some reaction starts happening in his body. Then we see that he has become a powerful man, and he is just eager to take revenge from Yeon Chungwoon. And the scene shifts, and we see that Yeon Chungwoon is sitting near a stone, where the picture of Great Master is drawn, and Great Master is speaking to Yeon Chungwoon. "You want to know how to win against Yoon Sihu?" And Yeon Chungwoon, after listening to Great Master, says, "Yes, because I have no chance of winning unless he lets his guard down." And the Great Master says, "Oh, that's some objective judgment. If you two fight again, he will probably hit you as many times as possible to vent his anger." No, Yeon Chungwoon gets a little disappointed after listening to the words of the Great Master, and says, "Master, please stop teasing me. Is there any way?" And the Great Master says, "Of course there are." Yeon Chungwoon gets very scared after listening to the words of the Great Master, and is thinking whether this is really going to happen, and says, "You scared me. Please tell me quickly." And the Great Master says, "I get it, so get your face away. It's gross. Listen carefully. I will teach you how to create poison. 50 put it in that bastard's food. When he wakes up a few months later, beat him up then. But Yeon Chungwoon gets a little upset and says, "Pardon? Are my skills that bad?" And the great master says, "Do I even have to say it? Every time I see you perform Taiji Fist, I want to gouge out my own eyes." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Your Taiji Fist is totally fake," and after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, the great master gets a little angry. "Doubt, are you mad?" And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Are there some kinds of martial arts in paradise that can help me fix his bad manners?" And after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, the great master says, "I was going to teach you to commemorate our master-disciple relationship anyway." And now Yeon Chungwoon becomes very happy and says, "You are serious this time, right?" And the great master says, "Of course. This is the martial art I created myself." But he is not able to believe it and says, "Is it this hand? How odd. It's been a while, so I'm not too sure anymore." And Yeon Chungwoon is running away from there after listening to the words of the great master. Then the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Where are you going?" And Yeon Chungwoon is a little scared and says, Well, I was shocked to suddenly learn something I didn't deserve, so," and he is thinking, "I can't tell him that I felt like I was wasting time doing something useless." And the great master says, "What's with your reactions? Something seems suspicious. Anyway, sit down with your legs crossed. Although henceforth you may resent me a lot, now that you have received my teaching, you are undoubtedly my disciple, alright?" And Yeon Chungwoon sits there and says, "Pardon? I suddenly feel the chill again for some reason." And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Take this. I will teach you how to control your mind." And it is saying, this is cultivation technique, the teaching, the enlightenment, the guide for those who want to walk on the righteous path, so don't take even a single letter lightly. And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Brat, you can stand up now. It will still be difficult to completely handle this cultivation technique. As such, it can only help you not to get hurt during training and get rid of useless habits for now." But Yeon Chungwoon is feeling a little strange, and when he opens one of his eyes he is surprised he goes because he has some bandage in his hand, and seeing this even great master gets a little surprised, and says, "Wait a second. Chungwoon, can you try this?" And Yeon Chungwoon asks master, he says, "Master? Yes, I will give it a try." And when he throws that leaf, some energy comes out of it, and it goes into the sky and comes back into Yeon Chungwoon's hand, and the great master also sees it. He gets shocked and thinks, "How can this happen?" and says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Fine. This time, gather your energy into your fingertips." And we see that leaves are swirling around Yeon Chungwoon, and the great master is saying, "Next. Think about creating small waves on the surface of water. It's fine even if they are small." And Yeon Chungwoon concentrates, and thinks, "My fingertips," and as he is about to touch that leaf, a bright light appears in front of him, and seeing this Yeon Chungwoon and both the great masters are shocked, and the great master says, "No. Think even great waves were possible," and Yeon Chungwoon is cultivating again, and the great master is telling him to do the next step, but Yeon Chungwoon becomes very absorbed. After a few days we see that Yeon Chungwoon has completed his cultivation, and he has become a powerful man, and he is saying, "Can I beat Yoon Sihu now?" And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, "No outer disciple can be your opponent anymore. Since you have mastered lucid cultivation technique, you will no longer be distracted by trivial matters. Just like me." But the great master is shocked, and the scene shifts, and we see Yeon Chungwoon speaking to the leader. "What do you mean, descend from the mountain?" And the great master tells Yeon Chungwoon, "Wudang is a complete mess now." And the hall leader says to Yeon Chungwoon, "What a dimwit. This is exactly why you haven't made any achievements so far. I am telling you to go down the mountain and never come near this place again." But Yeon Chungwoon gets very angry after hearing the hall leader's words and says to him, "Why, is it because of Yoon Sihu? Discrimination based on one's background? Has Wudang Sect always been this kind of place?" But Yeon Chungwoon's words make the whole leader very angry, and he says, "Cocky bastard. How dare you judge the great Wudang? Get lost immediately. Letting you off without punishment is my final mercy." But Yeon Chungwoon is also very angry, and is saying, "What do you? Let's hold it in." Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, "I would have lost my mind if I had not learned the lucid cultivation technique." And he is going from there, and says, "I must endure it for now." Just you wait. I will make sure you regret it. Still, it's a relief. And the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, what is so relieving about it? And Yeon Chungwoon is saying, I mean how I immediately called you, master. It would be strange if I continued to call you, ancestor, when I was kicked out of Wudang Sect. But the great master gets very angry after listening to Yeon Chungwoon. What nonsense! And Yeon Chungwoon suddenly sees that house and his bag also falls, and says to great master, Master, even though I'm leaving Wudang now, he bends down looking at that house, and says, Your disciple, Yeon Chungwoon, would like to offer you the 9-bow ritual. Just then some disciplines come, and looking at Yeon Chungwoon they say, What are you doing? Are you bowing on your knees to apologize for your mistake? If you are going to do it properly. To me. Yeon Chungwoon is surprised to see them. Who are they? And the disciples are saying to Yeon Chungwoon, Beg for forgiveness, and I might let you off after a few beatings. And Yeon Chungwoon says to them, Do you want to get beaten again? And the disciples are saying, This son of a bitch. And then Yeon Chungwoon feels something strange, and all the disciples attack Yeon Chungwoon together. But Yeon Chungwoon already knows this, and says, I can see everything. Hearing this, the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, Of course, that's why it's called lucidity. And all the disciples are saying, This fucking rat. And Yeon Chungwoon blocks the attacks of all those disciples together, and throws them away, and seeing this happen, a third disciple gets very scared, and he is not able to understand anything, and Yeon Chungwoon says to him, What are you doing? Come at me, will you? And we see that Yoon Sihu gets very angry after seeing the commotion with his friends and says to Yeon Chungwoon, Foolish bastard. I'll remind you of the old days. And he is about to attack Yeon Chungwoon using his special power, and then seeing this, the great master says to Yeon Chungwoon, Watch out. That bastard has the eyes of someone on drugs. And Yeon Chungwoon, listening to great master, waits for Yeon Chungwoon's attack. But great master is feeling something strange and he is saying, Could it be that he is combining bow steps and weighted palm? And the great master is telling that Yoon Sihu's attack is going to be very powerful and says, Wait for the moment when he blocks it with his hand and snatches it away like a hook. Then, I can just dodge dash. And as soon as Yoon Sihu attacks Yeon Chungwoon, he gets very surprised because Yeon Chungwoon neutralizes his attack. And the great master says, And comprehend. That is, intuitive lucidity. And Yoon Sihu is not able to understand what happened to him, and we see that his power breaks and scatters on the ground and Yeon Chungwoon throws him on the ground due to which he falls on the ground dragging on his face, and Yoon Sihu is thinking, damn it. I even took elixirs. But why can't I land a single hit? And then we see that Yoon Sihu takes mud in his hands, and is saying, What the fuck are you on about? You arrogant bastard. And he throws the mud in Yeon Chungwoon's face, You cowardly bastard. And Yoon Sihu is about to attack Yeon Chungwoon immediately, and is saying, How foolish. No one's a fool when it comes to fighting. And after listening to Yoon Sihu, Yeon Chungwoon says, You're right. And he attacks Yoon Sihu with a stone, and Yoon Sihu is not able to understand anything, and Yeon Chungwoon is about to hit Yoon Sihu by falling on his neck, so here you were. But Yoon Sihu is stopping him. But Yeon Chungwoon hits him with a very strong fist, due to which Yoon Sihu falls on the ground, and Yoon Sihu is very surprised, and is saying, How do you get so strong? And Yeon Chungwoon is saying while leaving from there, That's none of your business. Never appear in front of me ever. Unless you wish to keep being trampled on. And Yoon Sihu says to Yeon Chungwoon, Why, you little? Wait. Stop. But Yeon Chungwoon ignores Yoon Sihu's words and goes from there, and the great master is very happy with Yeon Chungwoon, and is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, One goodness my 10 years of chronic congestion is gone. Of course not. Ahem. Listen up, Chungwoon. In the martial arts of the orthodox faction, you're the only enemy you can speak of. Refining martial arts is refining yourself, and it should not be focused on just defeating others. Do you understand? Yeon Chungwoon is listening to the great master carefully, and says, Why yes. I'm aware of it too. But the great master is surprised, and says, Are you? And Yeon Chungwoon says, Of course, I did learn that much. And the great master cannot believe Yeon Chungwoon's words, and says I was worried that your violence would be so intense that he couldn't ascend to heaven. But you little brat! Jade Emperor ordered me something. I'll have to finish that up. I'll be back, so take care at home. And Yeon Chungwoon accepts what the Great Master says, and the Great Master says to Yeon Chungwoon, if I just raise this brat up well, I'll escape from being the youngest. And we see a third man looking at the Great Master, and he is thinking, but we are not shown his face, and he is saying, what's that guy, Sanfeng, doing there? And the scene shifts, and we are shown Shanyang County, which is Yeon Chungwoon's town, and his parents are waiting for Yeon Chungwoon, and Yeon Chungwoon is saying, I'm back. Father Yeon Kyung, Mother Han Suki, little brother Yeon Chungwoo, and Yeon Chungwoon's brother is very excited to meet him. His father is also very happy, and he is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, welcome back. It's a relief to see someone who's set on becoming a martial artist come back safe and sound. And Yeon Chungwoon is saying to his father, I have no excuses, father. And Yeon Chungwoon's father listens to Yeon Chungwoon and says it's fine. If it's as you say, the Wudang Sect is the one lacking. But Yeon Chungwoon's mother gets a little emotional, and says to Yeon Chungwoon, your father couldn't sleep a wink after hearing your news. And Yeon Chungwoon's father, seeing tears on his wife's face, says to her, cut it, will you? And seeing all this happening, Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, he must have been very worried. He is still as gentle as ever, trying to keep up that stern facade. And Yeon Chungwoon's father is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, Chungwoon, hurry and go greet your grandfather. And Yeon Chungwoon is very happy with his homecoming, and he is also very eager to meet his grandfather, and is saying, Grandpa, I'm. And Yeon Chungwoon's grandfather welcomes Yeon Chungwoon, Grandfather Yeon, the person who is the closest reason as to why I developed an admiration for martial artists. And he is telling Yeon Chungwoon, if everything had been proceeding without a hitch, you shouldn't have returned yet. Were you kicked out? Yeon Chungwoon gets very disappointed after listening to his grandfather, and tells him, yes. That's what happened. And Yeon Chungwoon's grandfather is telling Yeon Chungwoon, was it your fault? I did something, but it wasn't my fault. That's fine then. What are you planning to do going forward? I'm thinking of staying home for the time being. Yeon Chungwoon gets very disappointed after hearing his grandfather's words, and his grandfather looks at him and says, did you give up on becoming a martial artist? Chungwoon. But Yeon Chungwoon is not able to understand anything, and Yeon Chungwoon's grandfather is again saying to him, do you remember what I said back then? You don't have to live a grand life. And Yeon Chungwoon says, if that is truly what you want, I'll root on you even if you want to hold the sword instead of the brush. That's what you said. And Yeon Chungwoon's grandfather, after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, says, but are you giving up that easily? And Yeon Chungwoon tells his grandfather, I haven't given up. I have a goal in mind. Things happened, and I ended up returning home, but I'm going to persevere. And Yeon Chungwoon's grandfather, after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, says, I understand. You may leave now. All right, I'll be taking my leave then. And on hearing this, Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, when was the last time that brat looked me straight in the eyes like that? His gaze became so much better in the time I didn't see him. When did my grandson grow this big? And Yeon Chungwoon is getting out of there, and is saying, now that I've finished all the big stuff, I can't be lazy on training. And then he sees a stone, and he sits in that stone, and starts his cultivation, and is thinking, thanks to the lucid cultivation technique, the conversation with Grandpa went much more smoothly than I thought. He is a good man, but I'm always nervous around him. How good of a talent is he that you're laying such a vast foundation on him? Master? And then we see that someone has come in front of the magic mirror of the Great Master. And he is saying, lucid cultivation technique. Is this body built upon the foundation of Tao-crafted clandestine technique, combined with strength reversal, and supplemented with yoga techniques of Tianzhu? And his words are clearly heard in Yeon Chungwoon's ears, and Yeon Chungwoon says, are you back already? You were speaking as if you would be away for a long time, but your way of speaking has become a lot more unique? And that man says to Yeon Chungwoon, can you hear me? Whose name is Bodhidharma? And Yeon Chungwoon has some doubts, and he is thinking, what's with that weird way of speaking? And Yeon Chungwoon is talking to that man, would you stop joking around? Yes. You must have been quite bored, Master, it's been a long time since I last heard that call. He said he'd have a lot to complain about. Is that why he's trying to make me train even harder? Master, please just speak comfortably like before. And that man is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, should I teach you one martial art technique? And Yeon Chungwoon tells him, I'd gladly accept it, Master, please tease me all you want. And we see that the man has become a powerful person, and says to Yeon Chungwoon, it's good to have you call me Master. I'll keep showing it to you until you master it. So take your time and learn it well. This is strange. Every time the transmitted method touches my body, I feel like a solid core is being established within me. Just like the unwavering, firm foundation of the earth.